What's My Line? Brought to you by Mutual of Omaha, the largest exclusive health and accident insurance company in the world. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now from CBS Television City in Hollywood, here's a special What's My Line panel. First, the lovely star of motion pictures and television, Miss Laraine Day.
And now I would like to introduce a young man who has been killing the public for 36 years and is still killing them in his newest motion picture, Babyface Nelson, Mr. Mickey Rooney.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure now to introduce the next panelist. You probably all know her as one of the most fabulous and glamorous motion picture stars in our business, but I know her as the president of the International Swimming Pool Company, the makers of the Esther Williams swimming pool, Miss Esther Williams. Here she is.
Thank you, and it is now my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who I'm a great fan, and he is now one of the stars of the Alcoa Goodyear Theater, Mr. Jack Lemmon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Esther. And in turn, it's my pleasure at this time to introduce the distinguished commentator and analyst and a man who, believe it or not, made the show tonight by just landing outside in the parking lot in a helicopter, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Yeah.
Well, I must say it's a joy to be out in Hollywood doing What's My Line after 7.5 years of doing it in New York, 7.5 years plus. And what a panel. So much beauty, wit, and talent. 30 minutes from now, we'll see what we do from here. But it is our determination, as it always is in New York, to see how difficult we can make it for the panel. And we think tonight we have some occupations that will make all of you very happy that you're with us, because you'll get a chance to exercise all of your several splendid talents. And we'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the show, and we'll meet our first challenger in just 1 minute after this word from Mutual of Omaha.
I'm Bob Denton. In this pleasant house in Carlsbad, California, lives Ray Langan, 35 years old, married, 7 children. What's his line? Electrician, until he got sick 5 years ago with multiple sclerosis.
Put yourself in his place. Married or single, large family or small, you've got to have money to live on when sickness or accident keeps you from working.
We know. We do.
Every month, Mutual of Omaha sends a check.
Luckily for Ray, since he'll probably never work again, he has income protection insurance with Mutual of Omaha's world-famous lifetime benefits feature. And he will continue to get cash every month. Cash to help prevent a broken home, to maintain family life as long as he is this way, even for the rest of his life. You should know more about this famous protection. Send your name and address to Mutual of Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska.
Writing that card was the best thing we ever did.
Now, Arlene, Dorothy, and Bennett would probably cut my throat if they felt we played any favorites out here, so you all put your blindfolds on just to make things a little more difficult. So soon.
Right now.
We're going to get out of our norms tonight and play some games again, and the first contestant is one about whom there is some area of identification which gives us pause to think, so you have to put on your blindfold. All right, will our first contestant come in and sign in, please? And now, panel, as you must be well aware, you've been asked to blindfold yourselves because it's barely possible that there is something about our guest that would reveal too much. It could be costuming, handwriting, it's any one of a great number of areas. So we give you one bit of information only, and that you'll have in a minute. Do you know how we keep score on this program?
Yes.
Fine, then let's let everybody in the theater except the panel and our friends out around the nation know exactly what your line is. now we want to be very fair, Miss Day, Mr. Rooney, Miss Williams, and Mr. Lemmon, so we'll give you some help. Our guest is salaried. Period. Well, with that, we'll begin the general
That helped more
question.
than we are, I can tell you.
We'll begin the general questioning with Jack Lemmon.
Oh, well, you blew the whole show. Sir, I take it you are a man?
Yes.
Well, there we are. I'm stuck. That helps. You are a man. You are salaried. Do you do your work here in the state of California? Mainly.
Yes.
I note that pause panel.
Yes.
Wait a minute, small conference.
Oh, it starts already.
Oh.
Small comment.
I think I asked a question that I don't know.
I resemble that remark.
I have to change that to yes and no.
Yes
That's a
and no.
big help.
You are salaried. Do you deal in services?
Yes.
You do. Well, do you deal with men and women in your services?
Yes.
The ultimate beneficiaries of the service, as it is laid down, can be of both sexes, yes.
Well, if you deal in your service, both men and women, and you are salaried, you work for a profit-making organization, then?
Very much so, yes.
Yay. Yay.
Profit-making organization.
Salary?
Would you say that your services were dealt more with the mental rather than the physical?
No.
No.
That's one down and 9 to go, Miss Day.
See?
Tell me, are we blindfolded because we might know you personally?
Yes.
Would one of us on this panel know you personally more than any of the others?
Yes.
Are you associated with baseball?
Yes.
You know, I got stuck on this panel once with my husband. I'm going to clear this up right away.
Does it sound like his voice?
Is that your
No,
husband?
but he sounds like a Brooklyn Dodger.
Sounds like a bat.
No, he's very handy with the bat. And he hits left-handed. And I believe he plays center field for the Dodgers. Are you by any chance Duke Snider?
Actually, absolutely right, Miss Laraine.
You should have had him hide his voice.
Well,
Change it.
I thought you might recognize my voice.
actually, I don't think Duke can do too much about hiding that voice, and of course we will now have a small pause for meditation. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers now.
Yes.
Yes, if you
Yes, please. Isn't that true?
Well, Duke, I must say we missed you from whence I just came. I've been up at the Crosby tournament, you know, the
Yes.
17th annual National Pro Amateur, and I guess there aren't better hosts in the world than Bud and Billy Gould and Bing and Catherine Crosby. We had a wonderful time. A lot of your friends were up there, Ralph Kiner and Bob Lemmon.
I'd sure like to go there sometime.
But I read in the paper about that knee. I don't suppose you can play much golf.
Not yet. I'm supposed to play with my doctor Thursday, 9 holes maybe.
Really?
John.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You can't tell. He may be playing there. They haven't found any place yet.
Very good. Touche. What do you do in off-season when you...
I have an avocado ranch down south of here, about 90 miles.
Oh, you're an avocado farmer, huh?
Yes.
Big one?
60 acres.
Lots of
I have a
avocados?
partner, Cliff Dapper, who is...
Oh, I went to high school with him.
That's what he told me.
Washington High.
That's right.
I'd have known his voice.
We'll call him and tell him. Well, Duke, naturally, you know, Toots Shaw was down there with us, and Toots still talks with great melancholy about our Brooklyn Dodgers moving to Los Angeles. But I think that 3,000
Toots is
miles...
a Giant fan.
Yes, ma'am. Golly, day, I forgot the Raven. He also likes the Dodgers, though. But after the Giants, you know, and the Yankees
Way
are there.
after.
Yes.
A Giant fan couldn't possibly like the Dodgers. Oh, way after.
Why didn't I say...
It's
we-
much easier to like you.
Let's talk about golf. It's safer. Much safer. But we're all sorry to see you leave Brooklyn, but we're happy that you're out here. Now that you've got an avocado ranch, I suppose we'll have a lot of trouble ever getting you to come back east again. But
I don't know. I like it back there very much.
You do?
Yes.
Well, you come on up to New York State and raise avocados. We had 5 inches of snow when I left in the middle. Thanks very much, Duke. Wonderful to have you with us. Well, a brilliant beginning, panel. I must congratulate you. Let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Phoebe, Ann, Rumley. Is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Rumley? And where are you from, Mrs. Rumley?
From Summers, Montana.
Summers, Montana. Oh, well, that's wonderful. It's nice to have you with us. Mrs. Rumley, the panel.
How do you do?
Panel. Mrs. Rumley, would you come over here and join me, please? And tell me, are you familiar with the way we keep score on this program?
Yes, I am, John.
All right. If you're familiar with the way we keep score, there's nothing left to do but to let everybody know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, I will help you with this again. Mrs. Rumley is salaried, and I think, considering how brilliantly you performed a moment ago, you can begin the general questioning, Miss Laraine Day.
Thank you very much, John. Do you deal in services, Mrs. Rumley?
Yes.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to
How
go.
brilliant.
Mr. Rooney.
I would guess, then, that you work for yourself, Mrs. Rumley?
No.
No, that's 2 down and 8 to go. Miss Williams.
Do you deal with both men and women in your work, Mrs. Rumley?
Yes.
Both men and women. Do you touch them in your work?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go. Mr. Lemmon.
Do the people come to you for your services?
No.
We're doing great.
No, I will say this, if Mrs. Rumley will allow it. In the normal course of affairs, it's reasonable to expect that some might come to her as she performs her service to request it or to receive it in one form or another. At the same time, it's equally possible that she might, in perfectly normal operations, go out and give the service. So you go ahead.
Am I right or wrong? That's all.
Would you repeat that answer?
What did he say?
Do I continue?
You continue, yes.
That's bad. Do you work more indoors rather than outdoors?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm stuck. Do you work for any branch of the government?
Yes.
You do. Do you work for the legislative branch of the government?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go. Miss Laraine Day.
Do you work for the federal government?
Yes.
Federal government, and she's from Montana. Do you work in Washington, D.C.?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go. Mr. Rooney.
In your connection with this work, Mrs. Rumley, in the government, is there any specific thing that you have to okay for anyone? Do you have anything to do with issuing something? Do you, is it up to you to see that it is in order for these people to get something from you?
Yes.
That's pretty clear.
What he say?
Yes.
Well, I was trying to ask, John, if...
I think you said it
You
beautifully.
did
I
it.
thought, what did I say?
I don't know either.
Give us an example.
I thought I was doing pretty... Let me go while I'm hot.
Give out GI boots.
No, you'll get
that
your
what you
chance in
meant?
a
I
minute
just-
now. Because I wasn't on that trend of thought.
Oh, all right.
Mrs. Rumley, is there a certain day connected that only this specific thing can be okayed?
No.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go. Very good, Mr. Rooney. Miss Williams.
Would I enjoy your services, Mrs. Rumley?
Let us say...
I would say no.
No?
Now, I would think this is something you might quibble about, Miss Esther, because I think we'd all want to deny that Mrs. Rumley's services would not be pleasant under any circumstances. But I do think that if you were in the estate which required that you receive this service, you wouldn't be very happy about it. So you've got to know. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Lemmon.
We have a conference, John?
You may have 30 seconds for a conference.
Okay. We wouldn't like it.
Touch me, I'll get it by everything.
We wouldn't like it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about money.
Either that or she's going to bury you.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Lemmon.
No, I was wondering that. Do you have anything to do? Do people? Do you have anything to do with the monetary?
No.
Not practically.
Well, I am dead. That's 8 down and 2 to go. Laraine Day.
Do you have anything to do with people receiving money from the government?
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Rooney.
It's up to me, huh?
It's up to you, yes.
Yeah, do you sign death certificates?
10 down and no more to go. I can't understand how you could have missed this because it should be absolutely transparent just looking at Mrs. Rummel that she's an Army sergeant in the woman's Army Corps.
She's an Army sergeant. Oh, now this I have to see.
They said all of these questions tonight, they'd be easy, John.
Sure, because it's out on the coast and we're not the regular panelists. It'll be easy, really.
But this is Sergeant First Class, Woman's Army Corps. Not only that, but Mrs. Rumley has what I think is of even greater claim to fame. She has 6 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren, and she and her good husband, I think, should have medals cast especially for them.
Yeah, wonderful.
Mrs. Rumley, I'm deeply in your debt. If we hadn't given them a lot of trouble about now, they'd have probably rolled me over before this was done tonight. So I thank you very much, and thank you particularly for coming to see us. Now, in just a moment, we'll meet tonight's mystery guest, but first, here is a message from our alternate sponsor.
This is my kind of man. A guy with good-looking hair.
And just a month ago, he couldn't even get a date with her. But he's been doing great ever since he switched to new Curtis Hair Tonic, the two-way hair dressing that not only keeps hair in place perfectly, but also stops dandruff problems. His old hair dressing only did half a grooming job. Didn't help his dandruff at all. But now, just by using Curtis every day, he gets complete good grooming. Hair stays neat, and no more itchy, flaky dandruff problems, because only Curtis contains Dantrol 39, anti-dandruff protection that works all day. Your hair looks great when you use Curtis Hair Tonic regularly. No greasiness. And best of all, no more dandruff problems. Folks like to be with you when you look really good, the way you can look when you groom with new Curtis Hair Tonic, the first hair dressing with true dandruff protection.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I must ask my colleagues on the panel to please blindfold themselves once again. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
That's right.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, this instruction may not be really necessary, but you do have a different form of questioning now. You will ask one question at a time, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it all with Mickey Rooney.
Just one question, John?
You get one question at a time, and then it moves on to your partner on your left. But it'll be back to you. Don't worry.
Are you in show business?
Yes, I am.
Miss Williams?
Are you in motion pictures?
Well, no.
She said primarily. I got stumped on that again.
No. Well, still no. I must be fair and say that I think the question as posed, are you in motion pictures, gets you a no. It's 1 down and 9 to go, but this does not rule out the possibility that our guest has made motion pictures. Mr. Lemmon.
Are you primarily, then, in television?
Yes.
Miss Day?
Are you a Western star?
Yes, I have been.
No, before you go on, Mickey, I'm going to have to throw
I got
the
the
card
voice,
on
John.
that one. This is 2 down and 8 to go because you mustn't be misled. Has been a Western star, perhaps, but not a Western star period. All right,
That
go ahead,
narrows it
Nick.
down to about 3 shows, doesn't it?
Well, no, excuse me, Jack, but, and John, I do have the voice now. He couldn't fool me because I'm a great fan of his. It's Wyatt Earp.
It is now 3 down and 7 to go,
Do you
Miss
have-
Williams.
Listen to that
Do you have a regular series?
Yes.
I get to ask another one?
No, that's Mr. Lemmon now.
Is this series on every week?
Yes.
Miss Day.
Is it a situation comedy?
I sure hope so.
Mickey, Rooney.
You have it? Hey, you know what? You can't be wrong twice.
No, it's Hugh O'Brien.
No. I fluffed that with Hugh. No, it's the Thin Man.
That makes
I
it
could
4
tell by his
down
voice
and-
as he was trying to make his voice very fat.
I have another
4
question.
down and 6 to go, Miss Williams.
Do you have a series in which you have a sister and there are a lot of beautiful girls all the time?
You got it, daughter.
Bob Cummings?
Yes. A Western star, actually, a Western star, because he resides in the Western. Matter of fact, you're a Western star in terms of television in a very substantial sense. 4th anniversary of the Robert Cummings Show, I believe.
Right, John. It certainly
And that is longevity in television.
Yes, that is. I just did a Western, too, over at Republic.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't. I knew you'd done the Westerns. We couldn't just leave you as a Western star. We've been sitting here with drawing guns all night long. Is the 4th anniversary just passed or coming?
4th anniversary. No, we're in the 4th season
In
of
the
our
4th
show.
season now?
Now, yes.
Oh, that's great.
Of course, I was using the voice of old Grandpa Collins that I do on the show. I thought Mickey'd get that right away.
I was going to say it was you, Bob, but I had you mixed up with Jim Arness or something.
I begin to understand why we have so many Westerns on the night. Mickey bought himself 3 television networks, and they're all running the kind of shows he likes. Next year, Miss Esther Williams. Swimming pools. Lots of swimming pools. And Miss Williams. That makes it worthwhile.
And how?
And lots of anniversaries. Well, Bob, it's nice of you to come and see us. I must, as always, realize that Sunday nights are precious to a family man. He has 4 youngsters at home.
Got 5 now.
Got 5? Sorry, I was away for...
Something happened. Thank you, John. Wonderful to have you.
Good
And
to
what
see
brings you to California, incidentally?
Never. I went swimming in the Pacific looking for golf balls. If we move handsomely, we can test your mettle once again. May we have one more challenger, please?
He's a wardrobe man.
Bill?
I know who he is.
Who is he?
Mayor. Is that right, sir? That's right. Arcadia, California. Bill is from Arcadia, California, everybody. The panel, Bill. And panel, Bill, and Bill and the panel. And will you come and join me? You know how we keep score?
Surely.
All right, then let's very quickly let everybody know exactly what your line is. All right, panel. Mr. Mayor is self-employed, and let's begin the general questioning with Esther Williams.
Well, Mr. Mayor, do you deal in services?
Yes.
And do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do your services benefit the entire family?
No. That's a good answer. 1 down and 9 to go. Mr. Lemmon.
Do you deal with both men and women in your services?
No. 2 down and 8 to go. Miss Day.
Do you work in Arcadia?
No.
3 down and 7 to go. Mr. Rooney.
You don't work in Arcadia. Mr. Mayor, you're from Arcadia, though, right?
Yes.
I see. Are you a professional man in your work? Are you a professional? Is there something?
By which you mean the professions, Mickey?
Yes,
Law,
in
medicine,
the professions,
et cetera,
yes,
so forth?
medicines,
That's fine.
et
That's
cetera.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Rooney.
Are your customers, the people that you deal with, are they better mentally or physically after you have dealt with them?
Would you care to withdraw that well, wait a minute. We hope so. We hope so, yes.
I see. Is it necessary for you to touch the people that you deal with?
No. That makes it 5 down and 5 to go. We've got time for about maybe 3 questions. Mr. Lemmon.
I'll get it. Do you deal... did we establish, John, very quickly, whether or not he dealt... I know it wasn't both sexes, but we decide whether it was men or women?
No, it was not decided.
We didn't? I'm not going to ask it, but I just wondered if... Anyhow, would you say your work then is more mental than physical?
That's a very interesting question. We just ran out of time. No, I'm sorry, Jack. We have to flip the cards. We just ran out of time, and that question is hard to answer because Mr. Mayor runs a school for bartenders. Now, you... We never would have done it. Never. Actually, he runs 3 schools for bartenders around the country. And
John, I hate to interrupt you, but I have the answer.
You just run one of them. Yes.
I have the answer all the time, John.
Thank you, Mr. Rooney. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being our guest. Will you say good night to the panel? Good to have you with us.
A little earlier, we told you about Ray Langen of Carlsbad, California, who's receiving cash under the lifetime benefits feature of his Mutual of Omaha Family Package Insurance Protection. His plan includes hospital insurance for his whole family, the kind of longer, stronger coverage you can get to supplement your present hospital insurance, and income protection insurance with Mutual of Omaha's unusual lifetime benefits feature. If you have an ordinary policy, look at it. Does it have lifetime benefits? Single or married, write for free details on Mutual of Omaha's low-cost package protection. Send your name and address to Mutual of Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska. Now, think for a moment about the man who sold this plan to Ray Langen. He's making a fine living and doing real humanitarian work. If you're interested in a rewarding career, call your local Mutual of Omaha agent and talk to him.
Panel, I must say that it's been great fun working with you here in Hollywood, and I'm sure that Arlene Francis and Dorothy Kilgallen and Bennett Cerf are as proud of you as I am. You're positively brilliant. We've had a lot of fun, and also you've gotten a lot of antsy.
No people, but
A perfectly wonderful touch of California weather and its beauties, particularly the Monterey Peninsula. I'm saying with some reluctance, but not too much, that next week we'll be in New York again, and the old gang will be with us, Arlene, Dorothy, and Bennett, and it'll be good to be back home. But until then, it's nice to have seen you again, and good night, Laraine.
Good night, John, and good night, Mickey.
Good night. Good night, John. Good night, Esther.
Good night, Mickey. Good night, Jack.
good night, Esther, and good night, John.
And good night.
And good night, everybody.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
If you want to be a contestant, send a picture we can keep and your occupation to What's My Line, CBS TV, 485 Madison Avenue, New York 22, New York. Transportation for contestants and for the special What's My Line production in Los Angeles was arranged by American Airlines. What's My Line is a Mark Fritz and Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. This is Roy Rowan speaking.